All right, we live. We live, baby. We are fucking live. Man, NXT takeover in your house. Man, this main event was so crazy because like it's Karrion Kross versus Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole versus Pete Dunne versus Johnny Gargano, Johnny Takeover. Man, what a match.
All right, so the story for the Fatal Five-Way match between Karrion Kross, Pete Dunne, Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole, and Kyle O'Reilly was actually a very interesting story for me personally. Going in, the whole main theme behind this match was the fact that the other four competitors didn't feel that the NXT champion Kross deserved to be the champion. They didn't feel that he had the in-ring chops to handle carrying the weight of being NXT champion.
I think the story executed pretty well, especially with, Karrion being still a newly champion. This gave him the opportunity to show, like, hey, I'm the top guy in NXT right now, so this is what I'm going to do.
All right, so for the story part, I definitely give this story 1 star. It told the story correctly. Forrest did say me versus all. It was basically, the story was right, though. Four guys trying to beat the champion was what the story was, and the story was what the story was. It told the right story. That's all I got to say to that.
Okay, so the story, I definitely have to give it a star for that. It's a decent story. Their physical presence and expressions told the story well, I feel. I got that impression simply by watching, especially from someone who doesn't normally watch NXT. I believe they told the story well. I'm not sure exactly if the right person went over. I think physically, Karrion Kross looks like he can be a threat, but I don't know enough about him. Like I remember him in TNA, and to me, I think he was more of a stronger presence in TNA than I think he is as far as NXT. But then again, I don't normally watch it, but I would definitely consider watching it more after watching this match.
Story doesn't get a star for me, by the way, because there's not much of a story into this match. The main story is Adam Cole and everybody else calling out Karrion Kross, and he'll decide to fight everybody. And basically, the match is Kross any good? That's the story.
Yeah, and I kind of like that, but then you can't go anywhere with that.
Yeah, people calling out Kross on the line, this guy's kind of bland. I don't see it. That's not why we watched it. This is if you're watching UFC and you John Jones can't be the guy. I don't see it. He's winning. He's winning. That can't be a story.
This whole everybody wanted to do supremacy of being the best of the best, and it just all encompassed in together. Karrion Kross was just like the piece of the cake that that everyone wants to have, but he was just an added effect to this major storyline. They all hodgepodged it together very nicely. So the story gets an up from me.
So I give it the story a star. Even though it was quick, but it wasn't bad at all. It made sense. So it was no confusion. There was nothing messy or anything about it.
He clearly has it.
So no star from the both of us on story. In ring, I'm reluctantly giving it a star, mainly because it was very spot heavy.
Yeah,
which you expect of this type of match.
In ring, definitely, I'll give it a star. Solid ring work. The moves were well executed and sold properly by all the competitors. I think it was just enough. It was definitely fitting for the scene.
As for the in-ring work of this match, I thought all 5 competitors did the best they can do. I felt that the match sometimes felt that it was overloaded with too much talent, but overall, I like the fact that when it was one-on-one action, when Karrion Kross was involved, he was always fairly dominant, showing that he is a dominant individual, because I think that was very important, that he had to back up him deciding that he would face 4 other men to defend his title. And I think, in essence, anytime he was in one-on-one action with anybody, he was in control, and he was the guy who looked like he was the force to be reckoned with. However, when they wanted to shift the tides of the match, they usually somehow double teamed him. One point they threw him through the In Your House door. I thought, for me, it was a missed spot, because I prefer if they would have threw him to the window, but I guess the door would be okay. And then also the spot when Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole put all their differences aside and they powerbombed him through the table. Unfortunately, the table didn't break. I don't know if that was by design or what, but I would have liked to see the table crash. When they eliminated Kross from the match, it allowed the other 4 participants to go on and have a more traditional match, because you don't have to worry about the big imposing mentality that is Karrion Kross. So I really enjoyed what they did inside the ring, and I thought that they deserve a star for their in-ring work.
I think the in-ring work, though, was good, especially on Karrion Kross, because this match, I said it in the MCM group, the group. This was one thing they executed well, and it was to show Karrion Kross was like a beast. Like, they kept it, even it could have been 5, it could have been 3, it could have been 4, it could have been it. He was probably the main attraction in the match. I don't want to give it no stars because it wasn't bad. So that's why I'm giving it a star, because even though the match I thought would have been a faster pace, I didn't see it as a faster pace, but I wasn't really disappointed in, the in-ring work. It was pretty good.
For in-ring, I also give it a star. I thought the match was good. I know a lot of people said it was a spot fest, but I kind of like that stuff. Kross got a lot of rest periods though during this match. So I counted 3. So Kross got knocked into the door. He was out for that. The double power bomb, he got knocked out for that, and there was 1 on the floor. But the in-ring work between Cole, Gargano, Dunn, O'Reilly, that saved the whole match. And a double super kick that Cole and Gargano gave Dunn was killer. I love that one. That was a good double super kick. But all in all, I mean, the in-ring work was very good in my book.
It will get a star from me, because everybody got their shit in. Everybody got their moves in, kicks and Muay Thai fucking tossing, and Pete Dunne with the finger snapping, and everybody's doing submissions, and the transitions was well. They did do great wrestling. They did have wrestling in there. So, and I said before, with the spots, some certain spots in the match, the one that breaks out to me is Pete Dunne trying to hit that moonsault and then just getting double super kicked by Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano. But there was other stuff in there too.
You expect that of this type of match, but I think I'm getting to the point where I realize I don't have attention deficit disorder, so I don't need a high spot every other move.
So we're in the In Your House. They added seats to everything, and for some reason I felt like the crowd was worse than what it was before. Then without having the Tron or the videos there, and I was like, "What happened? Who are these people?"
If the crowd was more alive into the match, like I said, the crowd was dead, and I don't know. I mean, ever since they moved to that Capitol Wrestling Center where they held Raw and all the pay-per-views in the beginning of the pandemic, I don't like the setup. I don't like the setup of it. I don't like the way the hard camera is set up. It doesn't show the crowd except on the sides. I don't like that plexiglass thing with the fencing. It really does look stupid on the setup, and you barely saw the crowd. It looks like the lighting was so poor that you couldn't even see the crowd in the background. I mean, I miss them. I miss the days of when they were at Full Sail. And they should go back to Full Sail because this place ain't working for them.
I think, even though we're only talking about one match, I think the overall pay-per-view itself, I did not like that crowd at all. That crowd, it wasn't what I expected, especially from an NXT pay-per-view. I don't know if the crowd was, I don't know if it had to do with production. I don't know if it had to do with, but I didn't like the crowd at all. It wasn't, towards the end of the match, they got a little bit more like, it's like they woke up, if you want to say. But besides that, I mean, I didn't like it at all. Wrestling wise, the atmosphere was good, but I give it a no star because just the crowd made it feel like it was we were watching it on Wednesday.
So yes, absolutely, it's not getting a star. It's not. It just felt like a regular ass NXT show. They could put In Your House back there all they want. They could promote it. It felt like a regular NXT show when it comes to the atmosphere. Now the matches, the show as a whole, it felt like a takeover, but as opposed to the atmosphere, the feel, the look, it just felt like a regular show.
The atmosphere and production of the match, I'm not giving it a star at all. The crowd was dead. Why, I have no idea. There was like one or two things. There was like a brief "this is awesome" chant, and then like a "fight forever" chant, and that was it. Except for that, they weren't in the match, and the commentary. I don't like this commentary team to begin with. I'm not a big Vic Joseph fan. I'm not big on Beth Phoenix or Wade Barrett, but I mean, it is what it is. That's what you get. But the crowd was killed the whole show.
No, what it is, Marcus. Just see when you see a female, a beautiful female, who's caked her face in makeup. So like realistically, just and then you occasionally see them without it, and you go, "Oh, you actually look nice without it." And then you say to them, "Less is more."
Yeah,
that's basically what happened with the NXT fans in that arena.
I mean, I have to give it a star. I think in the very beginning, I got that impression that the crowd seemed kind of dead, but I think they did a good job with the set. I think I like the arena. The commentary was good. Like I said, hearing a live crowd again, that's always a good thing. Like I said, the beginning seemed a little dead, but I think it got progressively better as the match went on.
Going on to the finish. First, I hated it. For the first reasons that Johnny Gargano didn't win. I was backing Johnny Gargano the whole way, and unfortunately, he did not get the victory. He did not get to walk away with the NXT Championship because he doesn't pass the airport test. With that being said, that is not the only reason why I didn't care too much for the finish. I did not like the finish because I thought the finish, if we're going to build Karrion Kross as this dominant force that he is, he needs to have a more decisive victory. I think the choke out of Kyle O'Reilly coming up behind him while he had Adam Cole inside of a leg lock just kind of seemed like it's a cop-out, maybe a little weak in my opinion. I think it would have been more suitable if he just would have destroyed everyone. I mean everyone. And then at the end, he hits his finisher and he wins the match 1, 2, 3. So because I didn't care too much for the ending, I didn't care that Gargano didn't win. I also didn't like the choke out. They will not get a star for the finish for me.
For the finish, I gave it a star reluctantly because the finish worked its way to where I thought Cole was going to tap out. And then the straitjacket was put on O'Reilly, and it was like a race of who the ref was going to not go to first. Was it going to be Cole tapping, or you saw O'Reilly just fading away? And it's like, okay, who's going to win the race of who's going to, like, is it going to be a ref stoppage with O'Reilly or is Cole tapping? But I mean, the finish was good. I mean, because it show that Kross accomplished what he wanted to do.
The finish was perfect. I think Karrion Kross made his point. That was the point of the whole match. He made his point that he is, a lot of people don't like him. In my opinion, I like him. He's one of my favorite. I think it's with the confusion of his character, but I think the finish was perfect. He made his point. He is the top man of NXT right now. He is the champion for a reason, and I give that a star.
I give it a star just simply for the fact that I understood, I think Karrion Kross got his point across, so to speak, at the end, even though it was a chokehold, and I really don't consider that like a dramatic hold. I think somebody is with a physical presence as him, he should have a better finishing move, I think. But for all intents and purposes, the way the match went, and the menacing look on his face as he choked out, I think Kyle O'Reilly did a good job selling the way he looked, when he was on his way out, and for the way it ended like that, I gotta give him credit for that. It looked good.
The finish, I enjoyed the finish.
The finish was nice. The finish was the right story. It had the underdog Kyle O'Reilly looking like had Adam Cole right where he wanted him. In the heel hook, Adam Cole couldn't escape, and the only reason Adam Cole escaped was because the life of him was being choked out by Kross.
Yeah,
and the referee had to stop it.
The finish, I would give the finish a star only because of the fact that it's hard to do these multi-man matches. And it was going to be interesting and intriguing to see how they were going to end the match, because everybody got their shit off, like I said earlier. But Karrion Kross has his straight jacket, rear naked choke finisher and stuff like that, so he's getting the move over while showing the toughness and credibility of all the other wrestlers as well. So because Gargano didn't take a pin or a submission, he's still good. Pete Dunne, he's still good because he didn't take the fall. Even though Adam Cole was in the hold, he was showing his perseverance by not tapping to Kyle O'Reilly, because if he tapped to Kyle O'Reilly is the NXT champion. And then Kyle O'Reilly, even being in the straight jacket, trying to hold on, and that shows perseverance right there. But as the move, the straight jacket, rear naked choke that Karrion Kross does to everybody, he passes the motherfuckers out, and that's it. It's game over. So everybody looked kind of strong when it pertained to that. So the finish is all right with me.
So I really enjoyed that you don't see that often, that type of finish, and that was really enjoyable because Cole could have tapped. He was close to looking like he was going to tap. They sold that really well.
But I mean, I gotta be honest, I wasn't crazy about the finish itself. I guess the way it ended. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the story, story wise, it did justice. But the actual finish, the maneuver, I think, especially with that many people involved, you kind of want to be more of a dramatic finish.
Overall, I'm gonna give it a star. Overall, I'm gonna say it does deserve a star rating on this. I enjoyed the match. Like I said, it was just everything that the story was supposed to be. Kross being the monster champion and accomplishing what he said he was going to do. I was more shocked at the end hearing Regal saying that he might resign or something afterwards, but no, I mean overall, I mean it accomplished what it had to be done for the match itself.
I mean, going back to what I said before, I think I was entertained, but I wasn't entertained to the max. But it was entertaining. If you want to say, if someone's like, "Well, it was entertaining," I'm like, "Yes, it was entertaining." It was, Was it extremely entertaining? Was it, oh my God, I want that match to happen again? No, but there was some entertainment. It wasn't horrible. So I don't know. I would give it, if I have to give it a no star or star, I would give it a star. If that was my if that's my final answer, I would. But it wasn't, I wanted to go to sleep or something. I wanted to change the channel. I didn't want to change the channel. I had my eyes still on it. It was entertaining, it was interesting, but also I wanted to know who was going to win. Obviously, there was 5 competitors. So I give it a star for entertainment.
The match as a whole, I did enjoy the match. I enjoyed the match. I was not, I watched the whole thing. I didn't like get up and use the bathroom. I wasn't like getting a drink of soda. I wasn't like, trying to talk during the match. I was watching it. I was engaged. It wasn't like that ladder match that happened earlier that night. I was not engaged. And I like Eli Drake and I like Trevor Lee, Cameron Grimes. I call him Trevor Lee still. So, yeah, like, I like both of them, but that ladder match was doo-doo, dumpster juice. But we're not talking about the ladder match. We're talking about the main event. I was intrigued in this match.
Nothing about it said, you know what, this is a match that they're going to be talking about for one of the best matches of 2021. I think for me it was a lackluster ending to an NXT pay-per-view that I did not see, unfortunately, but I can imagine that I've seen main events for NXT for a bunch of takeovers, and usually after the main event I feel something. This one, I didn't feel anything. I was like, well, the right guy won, but we're still at the same spot we were with Kross, that he still doesn't connect or resonate with me.
Overall entertainment,
I give it a star. I was entertained throughout the match. It was a lengthy match, but I feel like the work in the match was good, and the wrestlers put a lot of energy into it, and there was a lot of thought in there, a lot of spots in there. Good selling overall. I really like the selling. That's probably my favorite thing. I know it goes into the ring, but overall, it was a star for me. It was an entertaining match.
it was. I really enjoyed it. Even though it was very spot heavy, I expected that from this match, but it kind of pushed some bits where there was lulls in the match as well, because it was really long. So you almost felt like you needed it at times.
Yeah, I mean, overall, very entertaining. I'll give it a star on all parties involved. I was definitely into it, and it would definitely make me watch it more moving forward. Like before, I think I only watched one other pay-per-view. I watched Stand and Deliver. Actually, was the first NXT pay-per-view that I've ever seen that I actually enjoyed it, and I was glad that I watched it. A decent story. I think everybody told their story well. I enjoyed it. I thought everybody did a really good job.
So the joke criteria, it's not real. I don't think he's going to make the video, to be honest, unless Marcus puts it in because he's doing the editing. I made a star rating for Karrion Kross himself because I personally feel like he's overrated.
Yeah.
But like he's kind of a polarizing figure where people like him, people don't.
Oh, he's definitely a polarizing figure. Yeah, that goes without saying. Yeah.
So in regards to how he came out of this match and what he put into this match, how would you rate him out of, like, let's say out of 5?
Out of 5, I give him a 3.
Okay.
Yeah. So
any reason why?
Oh, like I said, he's definitely got a good presence about him. I mean, I haven't watched enough of him to actually watch his mic skills and everything. I got to pay more attention to that because I very rarely seen him speak that much. But I mean, as a physical presence, he can seem like a threat, and that's what you want in a wrestler. Like, you don't want to look at a guy like I was trying to tell Mike, like he loves Kenny Omega and he loves the Young Bucks, and you know what? I'm not saying that they're not good wrestlers. They are, but they're just, to me, they don't. I wouldn't be afraid of them if I seen them in the street.
Wait, what? You want me to rate Karrion Kross on his own?
Yeah, out of 5.
Oh, I'm gonna give him. I mean, like I said, he's one of my favorites. I like him. I enjoy him. I like his character. I don't know. Everyone seems either iffy about him. I'm on, me and Clint are probably one of the only two in the group that like Karrion Kross, which I don't see why no one would like him, but then I like when I dig more and I see more, I understand. But those are the reasons why I wouldn't want to like Karrion Kross. So I mean, I'll give him a 4 out of 5 for me personally, because I think he's great. I think he's a good performer. I think he does what he stands to be. Like maybe yes, he's a little confusing because everyone talks about the way he dresses and stuff. Like, okay, whatever. I guess if you want to point that stuff out, his in-ring gear doesn't match with this whole, that whole scary type thing and whole this, blah, blah, blah. I get it. That's a little confusing. But one thing I said too was if he talked a little less and had Scarlett talk for him a little more, maybe I think he would have it would help a little bit with his character more. Because you have Scarlett, she doesn't talk that much, and then you have him, and he's talking up a mouthful, and it's like, I think it makes his more intimidating character less the way he talks. I think if you want to be more intimidating, talk less, have someone talk for you, and I think Scarlett is perfect to talk for him too because she has that type of flow with her, and she goes with the character, and they match and they go. So I think if he just talked a little less, maybe it'll be better too. That was the only downside I had with that. But I give him a 4 out of 5.
Give him a 3. I'm gonna give him a 3 stars out of 5. Okay, it's not just me. Like if he was on, if we're not talking about the stuff that he done on Indies. The Indies, I give him a 4 out of 5 every time. And this issue is happening here that he had Indies, and that's a lot of people don't get Karrion really is. Besides this gladiator, Toro fighter, what is he type stuff. See, other like Impact had him with a hitman type gimmick where he was wrestling in suits with fucking low key and shit like that. So that's one thing, but he just has to be able to connect with the audience as a whole. I like his moveset. I like what he brings to the table, but he's gonna get a 3 for me because he doesn't have anything that's gonna engage with fans that don't already know. Is it gonna translate well with a bigger audience than the indie scene?
Well, considering he was like out of a 25-minute match, he was out of it for 15 of it. So I give him a 2. I mean, I'm not the biggest Karrion Kross fan either. I'm not a big fan of his. I just think he's he's like the prototypical big guy champion. That's all he is. But like I said, though, I mean for him, Kross can do a 30, 40, 45-minute match. This match total time, I think, was 25 minutes. And in that 25 minutes, he was out of it for like 15. So you're right. You are right. I mean, overrated is the right word to use for him, though. I mean, completely. He's an overrated champion.
I still don't know if I can get that match that I really want to say, oh, who could Kross fight to really make me care about any of his main events. I mean, he's had matches against Balor. Now he has had matches against Gargano, Dunn, Cole, and even O'Reilly. And now, even after that, I'm just like, you know what? You might just be the glitz and the glamour. You might not be the guy that can carry the title. You just have the look, but you don't have the substance. But it's not like WWE has never given a title to a person just because they had the look, but they don't have the in-ring ability. It's a fine line that you have to cross. I mean, you have to walk. At the end of the day, I just need to know, can Karrion get better? And I think that, unfortunately, you would want to have the main thing walking away from the NXT show is that Karrion Kross is this dominant, unstoppable beast. But unfortunately, I think that was overshadowed by William Regal not being able to control his performance in NXT and him contemplating maybe stepping down or pushing things, giving some more power to somebody else.
Oh, so wait, which star are you taking away?
So I gave Karrion Kross I gave 3 out of 5.
Oh.
So he gets 2 out of 5 for me.
So he begged for his life.
Yeah, overall I'm giving it 3. Over 3 stars. and then Karrion Kross 2 out of 5.
Yeah, I'm giving Karrion Kross 2. I just feel like he was the. There was a secret meeting with the other 4 wrestlers going, all right, let's treat this as like a gimmick match, and Karrion Kross is the gimmick. How do we work around it?